We have to go before they find us.
But we can't just leave like that.
We can and we will. We promise that we will if you are standing in the way.
But we can't just leave and just abandon them when they need us. Find her, and when you do bring her to me, I'm going to end her. Voice of the person who was hell-bent killing me. She haunted me not only physically, but in my dreams.
We have to go now.
No one could sleep with both eyes closed.
Everyone, prepare yourself for a story where being the chosen one is actually a living nightmare. Imagine waking up on your 18th birthday, and instead of a party, your hair turns white, your parents tell you you're part of a world-ending prophecy, and your own sister shows up to kill you. This isn't just a werewolf romance. It's a desperate race for survival through vampire kingdoms in which covens where the person meant to love you most, your fated mate, is the same man who throws you in a cell the moment you meet. The core theme here is destiny versus autonomy. Lianna is trapped between two forces, a prophecy that says she must defeat her sister, Loranda, and a mate bond with Damon that she didn't ask for and initially hates. The setup is unique because the protagonist is a white wolf, a rare, powerful entity hunted by alphas who want to weaponize her bloodline. It turns the fated mate trope on its head by making the mate bond a source of conflict rather than an immediate sanctuary. The burden of expectation. Lianna starts the story feeling like a prisoner of her parents' protection and later a prisoner of her own destiny. The lesson? You cannot live your life solely to fulfill the roles others have carved out for you. True strength begins when you stop running from your identity and start defining what that power means for you, not for a prophecy.
Chapter 1. We have to go before they find us, Sam, one of my bodyguards, said with a sense of urgency, urging me to leave. But we can't just leave like that, I continued. We can and we will. We promise to take care of you, and we will, even if you are standing in the way, Jonathan said, pulling me out. But we can't just leave. Everyone here has been kind to us. We can't just abandon them when they need us, I continued. Find her, and when you do, bring her to me. I'm going to end her, she promised. This was the voice of the person who was hell-bent on killing me. She haunted me not only physically but in my dreams too. We have to go now, Sam said with an urgent tone, and this time I dared not utter a word. We were currently in the secret passage filled with endless stairs, and it was really dark and creepy. They were both holding a torch, so we had a sense of direction and vision. We walked fast, and when we reached the end of the tunnel, we saw 3 horses stationed outside. We got on them hastily and rode quickly, even though we had no idea where we were headed. We weren't safe anywhere. The only place I thought I was safe, she managed to get to me there too. It has been like this for 2 years now. She was chasing me to kill me, and I was running for my dear life. It wasn't like this before. My mom used to tell me stories of how the world was such a good and peaceful place, but now it was filled with war. No one could sleep with both eyes closed for fear of being killed in their sleep. People like her terrorized the feeble, and no one could say anything about it. She killed anything or anyone, not considering age or circumstance. Her main purpose was to control the world and kill anyone who stood in her way. I'm not standing in her way, though. I actually don't care what she does. I only complain to myself. I don't know why she was hell-bent on killing me, but then I remembered the rumors. I have no idea why she thinks I'm powerful enough to defeat her, but she believes it's either kill or be killed. But who could try to kill her? I can't do anything to hurt her. She's way more powerful than I am, and I am so scared of her that I wouldn't want to even go near her because she won't hesitate to kill me. I'm just hoping that someone brave enough would and save me the stress of running for my life. Where do we go? I asked as we stopped to rest. We were currently in a cave where we would be spending the night. I knew we had nowhere to go and no one to turn to, because the instant we turned up to someone, they'd turn against us, and that wouldn't end well for any of us. I don't know, Sam answered. We can run all our lives as long as we protect you. If anything should happen to you, there wouldn't be hope for survival, and we can't let that happen. We need you. I told you I don't believe in that. Why couldn't I do anything when she killed Mom and Dad? Why can't I do anything anytime she shows up, huh? I asked angrily. I'd like you guys to stop building false hopes, because I am nothing compared to her. She would end me without even blinking her eyes. You've got to believe, Jonathan urged. You're our only hope to end this suffering. Everybody is looking forward to you ending this. That's exactly what I don't want. I can't handle it. She's going to kill me. I couldn't do anything to her today. What makes you think that I'd be able to tomorrow? We believe in you and the moon goddess. She'd protect us through you, Sam said. Let's just call it a night, I said, tired of the argument. This wasn't the first, and it certainly wouldn't be the last. I possessed the greatest gift, but I wasn't going to use it. I'm not going to be what everyone wants me to be. I have a life, also sadly, the one I can't get. I've always been protected from the outside world by my parents. I wasn't allowed to go outside or attend any function. I only did it once a year to celebrate the moon goddess, and that was with a lot of people and guards. I've always hated it because I didn't have friends. I couldn't even go to school and was thus homeschooled. I hated my parents for doing that because I felt restricted and imprisoned. Yes, I got everything I wanted, but some things were never enough. I wanted to see life beyond the walls of my room. I wanted to experience life as anyone would, but I couldn't, and now that I'm free, I'm not enjoying the freedom. Just wishing I was back in my room. I would even lock myself up this time, and I wouldn't argue with my parents when they told me to stay inside. But sadly, I can't do anything like that. Sometimes I wish this were a dream, and I would wake up from it, but I know now that it's reality. The harsh, bitter reality. A nightmare that no one knows when it will end. If I really could end it, I'd have done it since, but I can't do anything and it's sickening. To have a lot of people looking up to me, believing in me when I don't even believe in myself. I don't want to hurt or disappoint anyone. I know that one day I'd have to work towards fulfilling destiny because it would come to a point where we'd all be fed up and wish for death, but I couldn't take it up just yet because I am scared. I am scared that I would let people down. Scared that I won't fulfill the prophecy and die, then have no one to take care of the people, subjecting them to suffering. I wasn't going to do anything, not until I am brave and powerful enough to take her on, knowing I would win. I wasn't going to take chances with losing, because my losing signifies failure and suffering, and I didn't want any of that. Chapter 2. So we're just gonna walk anywhere? We could walk right into her trap, and she'd take every part of our body out until we're nothing, I said, getting tired of riding the horse. We were riding the horse because taking a car was too risky, and we were still in the forest part of our society. We got to a cleared, vast area, and there was a landmark that showed a demarcation of territory and boundaries, making us understand that we were about to enter a pack, and that wasn't the best thing for us to do right now. We were rogues and had no pack. Wolves and packs consider us dangerous, and they kill us at first sight. I don't blame most of them because of previous occurrences, but that still didn't mean it was fair. We had nowhere else to go. We couldn't lodge in an inn cause they'd be able to notice us and report us. I was terribly hungry and couldn't remember when I last ate. I was still thinking of where we could go and how I could fill my stomach when I heard the sound of sirens followed by the swooshing of arrows shooting towards us. We managed to duck that, but more came. Soon enough, we were surrounded by about 30 men. But I don't think it's fair. We're outnumbered here. 3 against 30 is no fair deal. What have we got here? A guy asked. He was the most handsome person I've ever met. His eyes are so dark and a bit scary, making my knees go weak. His bone structure was fine and perfectly symmetrical. It was manly. He's probably 6 feet something. He has tousled brown hair, and his eyes are the green of fresh dew glinting in the sunlight off a leaf of green emerald. Aside from his features, there was something else that pulled me closer to him, his scent. He smelled like fresh wood and somewhat fruity, like citrus and cinnamon. Gosh, his scent was so good. I didn't seem to notice, but I think he ordered his people to shoot us, saying we were rogues, 'cause the next thing I knew, arrows were flying from all directions towards us. I used my powers to avoid it, using my eyes to direct the arrow away from coming towards us, changing its direction, and this got them confused and the guy angry. "You guys are damn fools," he shouted angrily, taking an arrow and sending it directly at me. I was busy wondering why he would do that. That's a lie, though. I was lost in staring at him and taking in his scent. I didn't even notice when the arrow hit my right shoulder. Sam and Jonathan started shooting arrows at them, hitting every one of their targets, while I made sure theirs didn't by using my powers. I stopped for a minute to look at the guy. He had this look that demands respect, and with the strong aura he was oozing, there was no doubt he was the Alpha. I wonder what he wants with us and what he is going to do to us. I didn't even notice that he had shot Sam and Jonathan due to my carelessness. They were down on the floor, unconscious. I bet the arrow had some sleeping effect on them. It was good to know that he doesn't want us dead. "Take them," he ordered, and they charged towards us, seizing us. His voice was so cold and icy, and I don't know why I found it appealing. And then it occurred to me, he was my mate. I could have stopped them from taking us. I could have done something. With a simple gesture, all the men in front of me could become corpses rotting in the grass at my feet, including their daunting Alpha, but I chose not to. I don't know what lies ahead, but it would be nothing compared to how we've been living. At least he wasn't going to take us to her, or not yet. If he kept us imprisoned, no one would find us, and at least we would know that we are safe for the time being, and if we're lucky, we could get food to eat. He couldn't possibly kill us, could he? He shot another arrow at me on the arm he had shot at me before. The ache in my shoulder intensified. It tore through muscle and tissue, lighting flames of pain that seared through the nerves. I gasped, and my steps faltered as my teeth clenched together. I began to feel the effect of the shot as they pulled us away. I ignored my bleeding arm and the fact that they concentrated on pulling my right hand. That was the last I remembered as I soon joined the rest in their sleep. "Wake them up," I heard the cold voice say, and before I knew it, a whole bucket of cold, and when I mean cold, I mean extremely cold, water was poured on each one of us. "Seriously, this is how you wake someone up?" "A little tap on the shoulder would have been good," I said icily. I didn't like the cold water at all. "And what do you think we are, your servants to serve the mighty princess?" he said scornfully. "You clearly look like one to me," I muttered and got a nudge from Sam. "And I pretty much fit the role of a princess." "Don't flatter yourself, darling, this is reality." "You can stop dreaming now, don't you think you're too old for that?" he said. The way he spoke made me have a sudden detest towards him. He didn't seem friendly in any way. I rolled my eyes, having no good comeback, and he smirked. "Now, back to talk. What were you rogues doing wandering around my land?" he asked coldly. "We were on a journey," Jonathan spoke up for the first time since we've been locked up here. "Two," he asked, urging Jonathan to continue. "Visit a relative," Sam quipped. "Really?" he asked, sounding not convinced. "If you were going to visit a relation, then why do you have all this?" His tone was demanding. "The one where you had to answer real quick. All the weapons we had were thrown on the floor. I would like an explanation for this. You clearly weren't going to visit a relative." "Well, we were. We all know how dangerous the whole place is, and with Loranda on the loose, we had that for self-defense," I said. At least that sounded reasonable to some point. He did what I didn't expect. He laughed, not the type that got one staring or sounds pleasing to hear. It was a mocking one, and I hated that. Self-defense? What does a girl, as you know about self-defense? You couldn't do anything when you were attacked. What could you possibly do then if you come across Loranda? "For starters, I could give you some food for her dogs," I said. "Oh, please. I'm being serious here. You and your friends trespassed on the territory. All rogues that land on our land die." "No matter who they may be," he said, the last part looking at me. I was trying to tell myself that he doesn't know, but the bastard does. He knew from the start. I don't know why he was treating me like that. I was his mate for God's sake, and mates are supposed to go all lovey-dovey on each other, so why was mine treating me like this, and even threatening to kill me? This wasn't good, and I was beginning to think he would protect me and all, but then he didn't even look like he liked me anyway, and he definitely isn't trying to be friendly. Just what type of a mate did I get? If he was going to be like that, I could too. I didn't even need a mate. I could survive without him. He was purely useless to me. "So you're going to kill us then?" Jonathan asked, and my useless mate nodded. We're honored. We clearly like the idea of dying for a stupid reason, such as walking into someone's land. We told you we were on a journey. Yeah, that's so believable, right? He asked. You can get going now. I think you've said enough already, I said, urging him to leave. I really didn't want him near me. His stupid scent had me craving for him, even thought I hated the way he was treating me. My office now, he said, pointing at me. His servants untied my rope, and he walked away while expecting me to follow him. I did quite the opposite, sitting staring at how dirty my nails were. I really should do something about it. Too bad I can't get pedicures and manicures any longer. Damn that Loranda for taking away my good life. Get up now, he shouted, his voice echoing throughout the cell where we were being held. Give me a good reason why I should, I said, still sitting, staring at my nails instead of him, and I knew I was getting him pissed off. I don't answer to you, he said, and before I knew it, he carried me up, definitely not bridal style, carrying me over his shoulders. The sparks and tingling sensation his touch was spreading through me was incredible. If he was carrying me like this, and I felt like this, what would happen if he carried me bridal style? I screamed and kicked, telling him to let go of me, but he didn't. I really wanted to bite him and jump off, but the thought of what he'd do to me restrained me. He opened a door and threw me on the bed with no care in the world at all. Why am I falling in love with him even more? Gosh, I hate his guts. We have to talk, and I want you to be honest with me. Cut the crap about you guys being on a journey, 'cause I know that's far from it. Chapter 3. I'm hungry. Can I get something to eat? I haven't had a proper meal in days, I said, and he just looked at me. How does that have anything to do with what I just said? I'm hungry, I whined. Let's make a deal then. I'll get you food, and in return, you tell me everything. Sounds tempting, but no, I declined. You'd better do as I say while I'm still asking nicely, he ordered, his tone commanding and intimidating. Well, I don't answer to you. And I'm also not going to play the role of a puppet dancing to your tune, doing everything you ask of me, I said, matching his tone. A day or two of torture would be able to bring out the little amount of sense you have left, he threatened. At least I have some sense left. I can clearly see that you don't. Watch your tongue, sweetheart. I wouldn't seem to say that if I were you. See why I said you don't have sense. No one, absolutely no one, talks to me the way you are talking to me, and I'm not going to stand it, he said arrogantly. Well, I'm not forcing you to stand it. There's a seat just behind you. That's it, he fumed angrily. You are not going to talk to me like that, sweetheart. And you're going to talk to me how you want? Yes, I can and I will, he remarked in his usual manner of speech. I really don't have time to listen to you, and I really don't care what you do. I'd like it if you took me back to where you saw me. That's not happening. In case you've forgotten, you are my prisoner, he said with a smirk. And I don't let go of my prisoners. Yeah, right, isn't it? Because this one prisoner happens to be your mate, I said, smirking. Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I could kill you if I want to, he said, trying to deny the claim. Then why don't you want to? I asked, smirking. Luckily for him, he wasn't able to answer the question because someone barged in, saying his attention was needed. I bet he didn't even have a reply anyway. I'm not done with you yet. We'd have a talk when I get back, he said authoritatively with that cold voice of his, then walked out. When he left, I just sat on the bed lazily and sighed. This wasn't how I expected to meet my mate, and this wasn't how I expected him to be. I hoped we would meet in one of the annual balls, and he wouldn't be able to take his eyes off me, and then we'd dance, and he would be a Prince Charming, not someone like him. But I should have known. My life has never gone in the direction I want it to. I decided to make do with the situation. There was a bathroom, and I could really use a bath. I can't remember the last time I had a proper bath and the privacy and comfort of a bathroom. I stripped off my clothes and then went to the bathroom. The bathroom was big, really big. It had blue tiles, and there was a toilet and a shelf where some toiletries were kept. I really didn't want to look around and just jumped into the bath and turned on the shower, the cold water hitting me hard. I washed, then came out when I was done taking a towel from the shelf. I wrapped it around my body and went outside. Luckily for me, he wasn't out. I went to the closet, and it was no surprise that it was his from the scent and the color of the clothes. It was as if he only knew the color black existed. I took out a shirt that was obviously too big for me and slipped it on, and it stopped just mid-thigh. I quickly put my head warmer back. I couldn't risk him or anyone else seeing my hair. Just as I slipped it on, he walked in. His eyes were over my body, and for a second, I thought I saw pleasure in them, but it was just his usual look. "What the hell are you doing in my clothes?" he questioned angrily, and I knew I had hit a nerve. I really didn't have a good comeback, so I was quiet. "I asked you a question." "Oh, sorry, what did you say?" I asked. "Forget it," he said, and I was glad he was letting me go for once. "Get out of my clothes right now," he ordered with a smirk. "You've got to be kidding me," I said, staring at him in disbelief. "I meant right now," he said, staring at me with that his annoying gaze. "You clearly don't think I would, do you?" "No, you don't have to," he said, and I sighed internally. The next thing I knew, he was standing right in front of me, very close, and my stupid wolf liked it that way and was hoping he'd take us right then. His scent was stronger now, and I knew that he had the inclination to kiss me as I hoped he would. "Would you take them off? Or would you prefer me doing it?" "Fine, I'd get out of your clothes." "I didn't like it anyway," I said, heading to the bathroom. "Who said anything about you taking it off there?" he asked, and I scoffed. "Perverted bastard. If you think I'm going to strip off in front of you or allow you to, then you're absolutely wrong, mister. If you want to see a naked woman, you can go hire your personal whore. I'm sure it wouldn't be the first time anyway." As soon as the words left my mouth, I regretted them. He looked really angry, angrier than I've ever seen him, but then he just laughed. "Why would I go hire a whore when I have one here?" he asked with a smirk. "The bastard just called me a whore." "You bastard," I said, raising my hand to slap him, which he caught midair. "You're going to have to do as I tell you, sweetheart. I clearly won't stand your stupid behavior." "Well, yours is stupider. You clearly don't know how to talk to a person without raising your voice. Assuming you were nice to me, I would too, but you just happen to be an arrogant, authoritative bastard," I shouted. "I'd show you what an arrogant, authoritative bastard is," he said, and before I could say anything or ask how his mouth was over mine. His mouth was on mine, kissing me, while I didn't do much, although my body was aching for him to kiss me as hard as he was. I wasn't going to give the bastard the satisfaction of kissing him back. I was hoping that he'd pull out, but he didn't. I don't think he would until I surrendered, and I really wasn't planning on doing so, but my body was saying otherwise. I wanted to kiss him back with equal fervor. His mouth sought permission, and I gave in, regretting it. I should have just pushed him off, but I couldn't resist it. I opened my mouth, and he filled it. His kisses were demanding, and I soon found myself answering to them. Soon our tongues were dancing together. Damn, he tasted so good, and I couldn't help but stifle out a moan, and the bastard was damn happy about that, and I felt him smirk through the kiss. Well, I wasn't going to be the only one moaning here. I pulled him closer to me, and he wrapped his hands around me. I wrapped my hands around his neck, stroking his beautiful dark hair as we kissed. I matched each of his thrusts, and soon enough, I had him moaning too. A smile appeared on my face, knowing that I won. He left my mouth to my neck, and I moaned as he sent kisses there. Damn him for making me want him so. We clearly were in our world and didn't notice the constant banging on the door, nor when the person entered, until the person cleared their throat, and I pushed him away lightly, but he didn't seem to let go. "Sir, Cici is here to see you," the person announced, and he threw a lamp at the person. "How many times do I have to tell you not to interrupt me, and if you need to, you should knock before coming in when I tell you to?" he asked angrily. "I'm sorry, sir, I knocked through," the boy said, visibly shaking. "Just get out of here, and as for Cici, tell her to wait in my office," he said, and the boy left hastily, and he turned to look at me. The whole time I was wondering who Cici was, maybe his girlfriend. The thought of them together, him kissing her, got me angry. I knew I shouldn't have let him kiss me. The stupid bastard was just going to prove a point. He took his gaze away from me and left without a word.
And that, everyone, is how you start a series with a literal bang. We just watched Lianna go from the safety of her parents' secret passages to a desperate flight for her life, only to end up shot, unconscious, and thrown into a cell. But the real kicker? The cold, ruthless Alpha who just took her prisoner isn't just her captor. He's her fated mate. I am absolutely reeling at the tension here. Meeting the love of your life, while he's literally threatening to kill you for trespassing? That is a level of enemies to lovers stakes that most stories only dream of. Let's talk about the power dynamic shifting in Chapter 3. Lianna has spent 18 years being told she's fragile and needs protection, but we just saw her match the Alpha's intensity. When Damon tries to break her spirit, she doesn't cower. She bites back with a wit that clearly catches him off guard. The fact that she can make this terrifying Alpha, a man who commands an entire pack with an icy voice, actually moan her name during a spiteful kiss, that tells us everything we need to know. Lianna isn't just a victim in this story. She is a hidden force of nature who is finally starting to realize that her gift might be more dangerous than even she knows. The big lesson from these first 3 chapters is about the illusion of safety. Lianna's parents thought they were protecting her by keeping her locked away from the world, but they actually left her completely unprepared for the reality of it. Sometimes, the walls we build to keep the monsters out only serve to keep our own strength trapped inside. Lianna's struggle shows us that you can't truly grow until you step into the unknown, even if the unknown is a dungeon floor. But just when it seems like Lianna might be gaining the upper hand in this battle of wills, everything changes. The heat of that kiss is shattered by a single name, Cici. Who is this mystery woman who can walk right into the Alpha's private room? The look on Damon's face says it all, and the way he pulls away without a word leaves Lianna and us in the cold. Is Lianna really a mate, or just a temporary distraction for a man who already belongs to someone else? Next time, the mystery of the White Wolf deepens as Lianna discovers she isn't the only one with secrets. Does Damon really intend to execute her, or is he hiding a connection that goes back much further than their meeting in the woods? We're diving into Chapter 4 next. Don't go anywhere. The prophecy is just beginning.